माधवा कुंज बिहारी
जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी
राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी
जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी
जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी
जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी
जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी
जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी
यशोदनन्दन व्रजजनरञ्जन
यशोदानन्दन व्रजजनरञ्जन
यशोदनन्दन व्रजजनरञ्जन
यशोदानन्दन व्रजजनरञ्जन
यशोदनन्दन व्रजजनरञ्जन
यशोदानन्दन व्रजजनरञ्जन
यशोदनन्दन व्रजजनरञ्जन
यशोदानन्दन व्रजजनरञ्जन
यशोदानन्दन व्रजजनरञ्जन
यशोदानन्दन व्रजजनरञ्जन
यमुनातीरवनचारी
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 राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी
जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी
जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी
जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी
गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी
जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी
गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी
जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी
यशोदनन्दन व्रजजनरञ्जन
यशोदानन्दन व्रजजनरञ्जन
यशोदनन्दन व्रजजनरञ्जन
यशोदानन्दन व्रजजनरञ्जन
यशोदानन्दन व्रजजनरञ्जन
यशोदानन्दन व्रजजनरञ्जन
यमुनातीरवनचारी
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 राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी
जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत् नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवति उत्तमा श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी. Reading from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, first canto, 11th chapter, text number 15. Dwari, Dwari, Grihanam, Cha, Dwari, Dwari, Grihanam, Cha, Dadhi, Akshata, फलेक्षुभिः दध्यक्षता फलेक्षुभिः अलङ्कृतां पूर्णकुम्भैः अलङ्कृतां पूर्णकुम्भैः बलिभिर्धूप दीपकैः बलिभिर्धूपदीपकैः द्वारि धूपदीपकैः द्वारि द्वारि गृहाणां च शतफलेक्षुभिः अलङ्कृतां पूर्णकुम्भैः बलिभिर्धूपदीपकैः द्वारि द्वारि गृहाणां च दध्यक्षतफलेक्षुभिः अलङ्कृतां पूर्णकुम्भैः बलिभिर्धूपदीपकैः द्वारि द्वारि, the door of each and every house, grihanam, of all the residential buildings, cha, and dadhi, curd, akshata, unbroken, phala, fruit, ikshubhihi, sugarcane, alankritam, decorated, purnakumbhaihi, full water pots, balibhihi, along with articles for worship, dhupa, incense, deepakaihi, with lamps and candles. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Translation. In each and every door of the residential houses, auspicious things like curd, unbroken fruits, sugarcane, and full water pots with articles for worship, incense, and candles were all displayed. Please repeat. In each and every door of the residential houses, auspicious things like curd, unbroken fruits, sugarcane, and full water pots with articles for worship, incense, and candles were all displayed. Purport. The process of reception according to Vedic rites is not at all dry. The reception was made not by simply decorating the roads and streets as above mentioned, but by worshipping the Lord with requisite ingredients like incense, lamps, flowers, sweets, fruits, and other palatable dishes, eatables. According to one's capacity, all were offered to the Lord, and the remnants of the foodstuff were distributed amongst the gathering citizens. So it was not like a dry reception of these modern days. Each and every house was ready to receive the Lord in a similar way, and thus each and every house on the roads and streets distributed such remnants of food to the citizens. And therefore the festival was successful. Without distribution of food, no function is complete. And that is a way of Vedic culture. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. We discussed in the last class how the streets of Dwarka were very nicely cleansed and scented water was used not just for one's clothes, but it was strewn across the roads. This was the opulence in the Vedic culture. And further decorations are explained here. Dwari Dwari Grihanam Cha. So along with various decorations, the buntings, festoons, flags, we understood how the flags carried the marks of Hanuman and Garuna, the great devotees of the Lord. But apart from this, it is explained here, curd, unbroken fruits, sugar cane, many eatable food items were also kept outside each door to offer to the Supreme Lord. And now also we can see that when the Rath Yatra happens in Jagannath Puri, all kinds of people, they bring out various food items and they offer it to the Lord. So this is the Vedic culture. Unfortunately, some people criticize. For them, spiritual advancement means you read some philosophy and try to contemplate on it, but no. Because we are living in this body, it is very important to take care of mind and body and everything. Then we will make spiritual advancement. Simply if we keep on doing mental speculation but we don't engage body in the service of Krishna, it is very difficult to make advancement. So that is why one class of people, they tell spiritual life means simply read the Vedas and try to understand it. And some people tell that, what is this thing? Everywhere you go, you have to distribute food. Spiritual life, they have brought it to a very gross level. Eating is a very gross activity. So spiritual life means you should be detached from eating. So this is one extreme. They tell there should be, because you see in the regular functions, any Vedic culture is there, any Vedic rite is there, sanskar is there, ceremony is there. Nothing is complete without distribution of prasadam. On the other hand, we find a set of people who are so-called sannyasis. They are eating meat and they smoke cigarette also. And they also have a cult following and they are very famous. And they tell food is for the body and spirituality is for the soul. So you follow spirituality, you read the mantras very nicely, and then you eat meat. There is no relation between the two. Because food is for the body. So body, you can eat any kind of food. You can smoke cigarette, you can eat meat, you can do whatever you want, and then follow spirituality. However, this is not approved. Why this is not approved? Because spirituality is dependent on the body. Because we are conditioned by the body. Only in human form of life we can have self-realization. If we are not dependent on the body, then we can request them that you can please teach the Upanishads to a dog or cat. Let them also advance. But that is not possible. A suitable body is required for making spiritual advancement. And when we get a suitable body, this body has to be further purified by right kind of food. Ahara sattva samshuddhim. This is the purpose, one of the purpose of food. The purpose of food is not just enjoyment, but it is sattva samshuddhim. It is purification of existence. So when the body is purified by eating suitable food items, and one such magical product Prabhupada explains, it is there in Bhagavatam throughout the Ayurveda and Vedic literatures, it is milk. So milk is it is told magical food item. By eating milk, fine tissues are built in the brain by which we can understand God consciousness. So body also has to be purified. Just like when there are various negative hormones in the body, when you are very fearful, you are anxious, then you cannot have right understanding. So keeping the body pure is very important. When we become angry, there is so much release of negative hormones. It is told in Bhagavatam, entire body becomes contaminated. So the purpose of food is not just enjoyment, but purification of existence also. That is why distributing food is very important. As George Bernard Shaw, he said, you are what you eat. And it is told in Bhagavad Gita also, Yagya Shishtashina Santo Muchyante Sarva Kilbishaya. One gets freedom from all the sinful reactions simply by eating food which is offered to Krishna. And one who eats food which is not offered, he is committing greatly sinful act. So this is a very important part of Vedic culture. Because we are dependent on the body needs purification. So the Vedic process is not at all dry. And a person can have very nice food items and at the same time make spiritual advancement. But this is very important. One cannot tell that spirituality is for the soul and food is for the body. Entire life is meant for spirituality. So body also has to be spiritualized. We have to take right care of the body. So in this way, various food items were also kept to receive Krishna. And when all the Dwarkavasis were out, when the conch shells were sounded to receive Krishna, immediately the family members of Krishna, they became very alert and they got extremely jubilant on knowing that Krishna finally has arrived Dwarka. And who are all the leaders in Dwarka who came out to receive Krishna? Their names are mentioned here in verse number 16 and 17. Nishamya preshtham ayantam vasudevo mahamanaha akruraschograsenascha ramaschadbhuta vikramaha pradyumnascharudeshnascha sambo jambavati sutaha praharsha vegochashita shayanasana bhojanaha. On hearing that the most dear Krishna was approaching Dwarka Dham, magnanimous Vasudev, Akrur, Ugrasen, Balaram, the superhumanly powerful Pradyumna, Charudeshna and Samba, the son of Jambavati, all extremely happy, abandoned resting, sitting and dining. So who are all these people? We might be knowing Balramji, of course. We might be knowing Vasudev, the father of Krishna. Who are the other personalities mentioned here? Charudeshna, Pradyumna, Samba, Akrur. Let us try to understand. Srila Prabhupada explains in the purport. Who is Vasudev? Vasudev is son of king. Who is father of Vasudev? Krishna's grandfather? Yes, Shursen. Son of King Shursen, husband of Devaki, and father of Lord Shri Krishna. He is Vasudev. He is the brother of Kunti and father of Subhadra. Subhadra was married with her cousin Arjuna, and this system is still prevalent in some parts of India. Vasudeva was appointed minister of Ugrasen, and later on he married 8 daughters of Ugrasen's brother Devak. So marriage among the cousins, this was a culture in the respectable families in the Vedic times. But they should be from different gotra. The cousins which belong to same gotra, which means from father's side, they should not be married. The gotra should be different. So even in South India, such marriages are there, and Arjuna similarly got married too. So this was a culture followed by the respectable families. Devaki is only one of them. Kansa was his brother-in-law, and Vasudeva accepted voluntary imprisonment by Kansa on mutual agreement to deliver the 8th son of Devaki. This was foiled by the will of Krishna. As maternal uncle of the Pandavas, he took active parts in the purificatory process of the Pandavas. He sent for the priest Kashyap at the Shatashringa Parvat, and he executed the functions. When Krishna appeared within the bars of Kansa's prison house, he was transferred by Vasudeva to the house of Nand Maharaj, the foster father of Krishna, at Gokul. Krishna disappeared along with Baldev prior to the disappearance of Vasudeva, and Arjuna, Vasudev's nephew, undertook the charge of the funeral ceremony after Vasudeva's disappearance. So Krishna, Balram, they disappeared before their father, and Arjuna did the final rites of Vasudeva. Who is Akrur? The commander-in-chief of the Vrishni dynasty and a great devotee of Lord Krishna. Akrur attained success in devotional service to the Lord by the one single process of, what was the process which Akrur followed? There are 9 processes of devotional service, and they are Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnoho, Smaranam Padasevanam, Archanam Vandanam Dasyam Sakhyam Atmanivedanam. So Krishna can be served in one or more of these 9 ways. So one such process is Vandanam. Vandanam is offering prayers, and Akrur was expert in offering prayers. He made his spiritual life successful simply by offering prayers. He was the husband of Sutani, the daughter of Ahuk. He supported Arjuna when Arjuna took Subhadra forcibly away by the will of Krishna. Both Krishna and Akrur went to see Arjuna after his successful kidnapping of Subhadra. Both of them presented dowries to Arjuna after this incident. Akrur was present also when Abhimanyu, the son of Subhadra, was married with Uttara, mother of Maharaj Parikshit. Ahuk, the father-in-law of Akrur, was not on good terms with Akrur. So the father-in-law of Akrur, Ahuk, was not on good terms with Akrur. Akrur is a pure devotee of Krishna, very advanced. So one who is not on good terms with a pure devotee, he is what he is called? Demon. Ahuk, father-in-law of Akrur, was not on good terms with Akrur, but both of them were devotees of the Lord. So both are devotees. Another name of Ahuk is Ugrasen. And so both of them are devotees, but they are not on good terms with each other. So thus Prabhupada explains that disagreement exists even in the spiritual world. But it does not mean that they don't cooperate in service of Krishna. So we are all individuals. So here also we will have disagreements. No living entity will perfectly agree with any other living entity. So disagreement is natural even on the liberated platform. Akrur, Ugrasen, they are supremely liberated personalities. But still they are not on good terms with each other. They have their differences. But despite the differences, we choose to cooperate. I may have a different opinion than another devotee, but this difference of opinion does not hinder our service to Krishna. Rather, sometimes to serve Krishna, there are differences. Because both the devotees want to serve Krishna as per their thinking, as per their capacity, which does not match with another devotee. It creates disagreements. But even though devotees may disagree, there should never be non-cooperation. This is very, very important. Because only when we cooperate, we are together. Prabhupada explains, we can achieve something wonderful in this world. Coming together, staying together, organizing things is very, very important. So devotees never go out of cooperation. But disagreement, we should not become disturbed by that. Every living entity is individual. There will be differences of opinions. So in this way, both of them were devotees of the Lord. Ugrasen, it is another name of Ahuk, father-in-law of Akrur, one of the powerful kings of the Vrishni dynasty and cousin of Maharaj Kunti Bhoj. His other name is Ahuk. His minister was Vasudev and his son was the powerful Kansa. This Kansa imprisoned his father and became the king of Mathura. By the grace of the Lord Krishna and his brother Lord Baldev, Kansa was killed and Ugrasen was reinstalled on the throne. When Shalva attacked the city of Dwarka, Ugrasen fought very valiantly and repulsed the enemy. Ugrasen inquired from Naradji about the divinity of Lord Krishna. When the Yadu dynasty was to be vanquished, Ugrasen was entrusted with the iron lump produced from the womb of Sambh. He cut the iron lump into pieces and then pasted it and mixed it up with the sea water on the coast of Dwarka. After this, he ordered complete prohibition within the city of Dwarka and the kingdom. He got salvation after his death. Baldev. He is the divine son of Vasudev by his wife Rohini. He is also known as Rohini Nandan, the beloved son of Rohini. He was also entrusted to Nand Maharaj along with his mother Rohini when Vasudev embraced imprisonment by mutual agreement with Kansa. So Nand Maharaj is also the foster father of Baldev along with Lord Krishna. Lord Krishna and Lord Baldev were constant companions from their very childhood, although they were stepbrothers. He is the plenary manifestation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and therefore he is as good and powerful as Lord Krishna. He belongs to the Vishnu Tattva, the principle of Godhead. He attended the Swayamvar ceremony of Draupadi along with Sri Krishna. When Subhadra was kidnapped by Arjuna, by the organized plan of Sri Krishna, Baldev was very angry with Arjuna and wanted to kill him at once. Sri Krishna, for the sake of his dear friend, fell at the feet of Lord Baldev and implored him not to be so angry. Sri Baldev was thus satisfied. So how do we understand? Baldev wanted to kill Arjuna, pure devotee, and he wanted Subhadra to get married to Duryodhan, incarnation of Kali Purush, demon number 1. So how do we understand Lord Baldev behaving like this? So this is called the platform of transcendence. One cannot understand by external activities. It depends upon the consciousness. Like Nityanand Prabhu, it is told that he was preaching alligators in the river. And then he was sleeping the boys who were sitting on the river bank. So why he was slapping the boys, poor boys? And he's preaching to alligators, taming the alligators. So these are extraordinary activities which are performed by Avadhut. Avadhut means one who is beyond any laws. So that is why the external activities of the liberated personalities one cannot understand. The liberated personalities can behave very gently, can behave very wildly, can do anything. Of course, when they are preachers, they behave very soberly. Otherwise, they can behave in any way they want. And all of their actions are fully auspicious. So in this way, Lord Baldev being fully transcendental, he can act in any way he wants. Sri Baldev was thus satisfied. Similarly, he was once very angry with the Kauravas and he wanted to throw their whole city into the depths of the Yamuna. But the Kauravas satisfied him by surrendering unto his divine lotus feet. He was actually the seventh son of Devaki prior to the birth of Lord Krishna. But by the will of the Lord, he was transferred to the womb of Rohini to escape the wrath of Kansa. His other name is therefore Sankarshan, who is also the plenary portion of Sri Baldev, because he is as powerful as Lord Krishna and can bestow spiritual power to the devotees. He is therefore known as Baladev. In the Vedas also it is enjoined that no one can know the Supreme Lord without being favored by Baldev. Bala means spiritual strength, not physical. Some less intelligent persons interpret Bala as the strength of the body. But no one can have spiritual realization by physical strength. Physical strength ends with the end of the physical body, but spiritual strength follows the spirit soul to the next transmigration, and therefore the strength obtained by Baldev is never wasted. The strength is eternal, and thus Baldev is the original spiritual master of all devotees. Sri Baldev was also a class friend of Lord Sri Krishna as a student of Sandipani Muni. In his childhood, he killed many asuras along with Sri Krishna, and specifically he killed the Dhenukasur at Talavan. Who was Dhenukasur? The demon who came in the form of donkey. During the Kurukshetra battle, he remained neutral and he tried his best not to bring about the fight. He was in favor of Duryodhan, but still he remained neutral. When there was a club fight between Duryodhan and Bhimsen, he was present on the spot. He was angry at Bhimsen when the latter struck Duryodhan on the thigh or below the belt, and he wanted to retaliate the unfair action, but Lord Sri Krishna saved Bhim from his wrath. But he left the place at once, being disgusted at Bhimsen, and after his departure, Duryodhan fell to the ground to meet his death. The funeral ceremony of Abhimanyu, the son of Arjuna, was performed by him, as he was the maternal uncle. It was impossible to be performed by any one of the Pandavas, who were all overwhelmed with grief. At the last stage, he departed from this world by producing a great white snake from his mouth, and thus was carried by Sheshnag in the shape of a serpent. So people have heard about description of Lord Krishna. And somebody asked in the class yesterday, if Krishna is beyond the laws of nature, how come he is also conditioned by the curses? Vali, the brother of Sugriv, he cursed Lord Ramchandra, as you have killed me by cheating me, concealing yourself, similarly you will also be killed by me in the next life. And of course, I'm sorry, it was the other way around. Vali told, why you have cheated me, and then Lord Ramchandra agreed. So don't worry, in the next life you'll be able to kill me. But then why these laws of nature are acting? No, he is not under the laws of nature. These are the spiritual pastimes of the Supreme Lord, which is called Leela, or these are drama which are happening. Because Krishna wants to confuse the people who don't want to believe in his supremacy. But if you see Lord Balram, he acted in a very extraordinary way. A great white snake was produced from the mouth. And then in this way he was carried to the sea, and in this way he vanished from this world. Pradyumna, incarnation of Kamdev, or according to others, incarnation of Sanat Kumar, born as the son of personality of Godhead, Lord Sri Krishna and Lakshmi Devi, Srimati Rukmini, the principal queen at Dwarka. He was one of those who went to congratulate Arjuna upon his marrying Subhadra. He was one of the great generals who fought with Shalva, and while fighting with him, he became unconscious on the battlefield. His charioteer brought him back to the camp from the battlefield, and for this action he was very sorry and rebuked his charioteer. However, he fought again with Shalva and was victorious. He heard all about the different demigods from Naradji. He is one of the 4 plenary expansions of Lord Sri Krishna. He is the 3rd one. He inquired from his father, Sri Krishna, about the glories of the Brahmanas. During the fratricidal war amongst the descendants of Yadu, he died at the hands of Bhoja, another king of the Vrishnis. After his death, he was installed in his original position. Charudeshna, another son of Lord Sri Krishna and Rukmani Devi, he was also present during the Swayamvar ceremony of Draupadi. He was a great warrior like his brothers and father. He fought with Vivinidhaka and killed him in the fight. Samba, one of the great heroes of the Yadu dynasty and the son of Lord Sri Krishna by his wife Jambavati. He learned the military art of throwing arrows from Arjuna, and he became a member of parliament during the time of Maharaj Yudhishthir. He was present during the Rajasuya Yajna of Maharaj Yudhishthir. When all the Vrishnis were assembled during the time of Pravash Yajna, his glorious activities were narrated by Satyaki before Lord Baldev. He was also present along with his father, Lord Sri Krishna, during the Ashwamedh Yajna performed by Yudhishthir. He was presented before some rishis, falsely dressed as a pregnant woman by his brothers, and in fun he asked the rishis what he was going to deliver. The rishis replied that he would deliver a lump of iron, which would be the cause of fratricidal war in the family of Yadu. The next day in the morning, Samba delivered a large lump of iron, which was entrusted with Ugrasen for necessary action. Actually, later on, there was the foretold fratricidal war, and Samba died in that war. So all these sons of Lord Krishna left their respective palaces, leaving aside all engagements, including lying down, sitting and dining, hastened toward their exalted father. So it is not that the way we maintain our body has got no bearing on the spiritual life. Rather, it is very, very important to take care of the body and to take care of the mind, by which the soul is conditioned in this material existence. So one cannot be allowed to eat anything, one cannot be allowed to think of anything. That is why the first condition which is essential for spiritual advancement is Shamo Dama Tapas Shaucham, controlling the mind, controlling the senses, doing tapasya, and tapasya begins with brahmacharya. Tapasa brahmacharyena shamena damena cha. What is brahmacharya? Brahmacharya does not mean. So this is another understanding. So there are many, many yoga societies where people want to do yoga so that they can have more sexual power, which is against the principles of yoga. For practicing yoga, it is told in 6th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, in 8th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, twice Krishna has stressed that you have to follow brahmacharya. Brahmachari vrate sthitaha. It is very, very essential, very important. And what is brahmacharya? Karmana manasa vacha sarvavasthasu sarvada. Karmana manasa and vacha. One has to follow brahmacharya, which means sarvatra maithunya parityago, giving up association with opposite gender. Any thought of enjoyment with opposite gender should be given up. At which level? Karmana, actions. One should not act. And manasa, in mind one can think, that is also violation of brahmacharya. One cannot even harbor sexual thoughts. And sexual talks one cannot indulge in. Karmana manasa vacha sarvavasthasu, sarvada, at all times, at all places, in every situation. In mind, body and speech one has to practice celibacy. This is very, very important. So these are the fundamental understandings which are explained throughout the Vedic literatures. However, we do not know what do people read, or why after reading also they are not able to understand. So this is because of lack of a proper bona fide spiritual master. Even though they read, they are not able to understand. It is very, very important to take very good care of the mind and body. Mind and body has to be very, very peaceful. And just to keep the mind and body peaceful, this entire varnashram system is designed. All the rules and regulations are meant to keep the mind and body peaceful. Because unless we are peaceful, there is no question of self-realization. Dhiras tatra na muhyati. Dhir means one whose mind is very, very peaceful, very sober. Such a person is not disturbed by the change of bodies. Dehi no asmin yatha dehe kaumaram yavanam jara. Tatha dehantar praptir dhiras tatra na muhyati. A person who is sober, he is able to understand, I am not the body. And when we understand this, we are not disturbed. So having a sober mind, a peaceful mind is very much required. And thus, to attain a peaceful mind, we have all the rules and regulations. So when we follow the rules and regulations systematically, mind becomes very, very peaceful. And if the mind is disturbed, as people have disturbed minds in this age, it is very difficult to comprehend anything of the spiritual life. Rather, one not just have to be careful about maintaining the body, one has to learn how to deny the demands of the mind and body. Human life is not meant to supply, but to deny. The more we deny, the more we advance. Eating, mating, sleeping and defending, this has to be made zero. Because these demands arise only because of illusion, because of the forces that we have in this body. As Parikshit Maharaj explains, when the atonement was being discussed, if you do any sinful activity here, before death we are supposed to do atonement so that we don't go to hell for punishment. But Parikshit Maharaj told such atonement is of no use, because you have done some mistake, you do prayashchit, do atonement, again you will commit same mistake. So why do we do this mistake? Arjuna asked this question. Anichan api varshneya baladiva niyojitaha. Without desire, I know this thing is wrong, I end up doing it. Why do we do it? Then Krishna explains. It is because of the lust that we have in the body. And it is explained by Srila Prabhupada, that is because of contamination in the heart. As long as the heart is polluted by the material energies, it will force us to do sinful actions, even against our desires. So that is why what is the process recommended? The real atonement is knowledge. When I have complete knowledge, then I will not be forced by such sinful activities, sinful desires. So the heart has to be purified. If the heart is impure, even though I know, first of all, I will not be able to know what is right and what is wrong. And even though I know, as long as heart is not sufficiently purified, I will be forced to do the things which I do not want to do. That is why the first step of spiritual life is Cheto Darpana Marjana. One should cleanse the heart. When the heart is cleansed, then one will be able to control it. That is why it is told Kechit Kevalaya Bhaktya. Our process of controlling the senses is not simply denying, but the positive process, as we can see here. What is the positive process? All the sons of Lord Krishna left their respective palaces. Nobody wants to leave palace. I am sitting very nicely, enjoying all the comforts. Which comforts? Lying down, sitting, dining. You are enjoying something, very tasty food. And you are enjoying this tasty food in a palace, in all the comforts. You don't want any disturbance when we are eating very tasty food. But the sons of Krishna, relatives, left aside their dining, their sleeping, their lying down, and it is told all the engagements. Why they left aside? Somebody forced them to leave? No. They were having so much attraction towards Lord Krishna, they gave up immediately as soon as Lord Krishna arrived. So there was no force. Give up eating, give up sleeping, give up other engagements, give up your palaces and come on the street. No, they gave it up automatically. So this is the real process of atonement or controlling the senses. So those who do not have knowledge of the personality of Godhead, they have to undergo a very, very troublesome process of shutting down all the doors of sense enjoyment, stopping the activities of the senses, meditating, sitting alone in a secluded forest, which is very, very difficult. Still, the desire for the sense object does not go away. But when we engage in service of Krishna, then very easily one can surpass the influence of the material energy, and then one can give up all the other activities. This is the process of Krishna consciousness. Param drishtva nivartate. When we have higher taste, then automatically we give up the lower taste. So that is why the first condition is we chant and hear Hare Krishna Mahamantra very nicely. We chant and hear Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam very nicely. We engage in service of Krishna very nicely. And then when we do it with great attention and care, with devotion, we get positive taste. And by this we give up the lower taste. So artificially, without having the higher taste, if we want to give up, it is not possible. So denying the needs of the body is essential. But this denial becomes spontaneous, like it happened spontaneously for the relatives of Krishna. Because of their attraction for Krishna, they gave up all their activities inside the palace, their eating, their lying down, sleeping, etc. And in this way, we make spiritual advancement. We will end here unless there are any questions.
Hare Krishna Movement. So Prabhu, as you said that we have to bring our matlab need demands in at till zero. Yes, and like what is the difference between bringing till zero and engaging ourselves in the higher taste? Like
Yes. So what are we supposed to do? We have to bring the demands of the senses to zero, or we have to engage the senses in the service of Krishna. Should I eat Krishna prasadam or should I not eat anything? So when we start eating Krishna prasadam, the demand for eating will come down and then it will become zero. So only when we engage senses in the service of Krishna, the sensual demands come down. Online?
If we chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra daily, so whether we need to chant Shiva mantra or Gayatri mantra, or it will supersede?
Or?
It will supersede.
It supersedes. It includes everything. Who is Krishna? Krishna is absolute truth. All the part and parcel, every living entity is part and parcel of Krishna. So when we serve Krishna, all the part and parcels are automatically served. That is why it is told, Sarva Arahanam Achyutejya. Normally we have to worship all the devatas. And there are crores of devatas. How can we worship everyone? But if we worship Krishna, all of them are automatically worshipped. So when we chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, there is no need of chanting anything else.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Lord Krishna told Yajna Arthat Karmano, and food should be offered to Lord. In Govardhan Leela, he established his devotion only and told that there is no need to worship devatas. But after telling Yajna Arthat Karmana, why he says that if one doesn't offer back to devatas whatever one has got, he is thief. We understand that devatas are Krishna's representative. What is the purpose of Krishna telling if you don't offer to devatas, you are a thief?
Very good question. So in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna gradually builds up the process of self-realization. The process of self-realization begins with fruitive activities. What are fruitive activities? You want to enjoy in this world some material mundane benefits, then you have to do yajna. Means by yajnas you have to satisfy the particular demigods, and then demigods will fulfill your necessities. So this is the first principle of spiritual life. At least you are accepting the higher authorities, and you learn not to become greedy, to enjoy everything. Just like a gentleman, a good citizen is supposed to offer taxes. One who does not offer taxes is a thief. So in order to live comfortably in any state, at least one must be a tax-paying citizen, a gentleman. So just like we pay taxes to the government, paying tax to the managers of universe, that is called yajna. So this is the beginning. At least have sense of higher personalities. And then Lord Krishna further explains the process of Gyan. He explains the process of Gyan, Tapasya, and finally he explains the process of Bhakti. Because Krishna is gradually building up the process of self-realization, Krishna explains this offering of sacrifice to the Devtas. However, finally Krishna tells, now hear my topmost instruction. And that is, Sarv Dharman Parityajya Mamekam Sharanam Raja. Yat Karoshi, Yat Johoshi, Yat Tapasyasi Kaunteya, Tat Kurushma Darpanam. Whatever you offer in sacrifice, whatever you eat, whatever dadasi you give away in charity, Kurushma Mad Arpanam, do it for me. This is the ultimate instruction of Krishna.
Next question. If there are disagreements in the spiritual world among devotees, then why does Srila Prabhupada emphasize going back to Godhead?
So we feel that disagreement means disturbance. No. Disagreement does not mean we think competition. Competition is also there in the spiritual world. But the competition in the spiritual world, the disagreement in the spiritual world, it only enhances service of Krishna. The simple example is, if the father and mother, they don't disagree on giving a good education to their child or taking care of the child, that means one of them is callous. So both are arguing, debating, child should go to this school, mother is telling no, he should go to another school. It means both of them are very, very caring. And both of them want best education. They are arguing, no, he should be given this medicine. Other partner is telling he should be treated in this way, because both want the best treatment for their child. So in this way, this kind of disagreement, it is not out of Krishna consciousness. And that is the nature of spiritual world.
Next question. Illicit sex also includes nightfall. Please clarify.
Yes, losing of semen voluntarily or involuntarily, that is counted in illicit sex.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. After Draupadi Vastraharan, she takes a vow that she won't tie her hair unless she is bathed with the Dushasan's blood. Prabhuji not able to understand why she said so. Is tying hair a big thing in olden days?
Yeah, tying hair is very, very important. So as people keep loose hairs now, it is a fashion. So in Vedic culture, simply by seeing the hairstyle, one can understand what is the situation of the other person. So of course now people do not understand, so please don't feel offended. But it is told that if the parting of the hair, it should be there in the middle. And if the parting is filled with vermilion, that means the woman is married. And if the parting is on the side, that means that the lady is a prostitute. So because this openly lustful activities were not allowed, but still prostitutes were required in the society, because some men would be there who are not self-controlled. They were not allowed to create disturbance in the normal society. So the prostitutes were living outside the towns, and those people who wanted, they can visit the prostitute. So these kind of apps were not existing and other things by which you can call a prostitute. So how shall you figure out who is a prostitute? You can see by the parting. Parting is on the side means this lady is a prostitute. And then a person can go and get satisfied. And of course nowadays everything is lost. But in this way, similarly, tying of the hair also was very, very important. Rather, it's told when we keep our heads open, that attracts the ghostly spirits. And that is why many times women get haunted by such ghosts. So this is important.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. As you said, we should avoid tasty good food to satisfy our senses. but we are eating tasty prasadam. What's your thoughts regarding this?
Because we are fond of tasty food, it is good to start with eating tasty prasadam. But as we advance in spiritual life, we can simplify our prasadam. If our senses are not controlled in the beginning, then one will eat outside. So that is why Prabhupada told in the beginning, you please eat to your heart's content. Because if we are hungry, our senses are not controlled, then we will end up eating unoffered food outside. So in the beginning, we can have tasty prasadam, and then gradually it is told, bhalo na khaibo, bhalo na paribo. Do not eat very tasty foodstuffs. This is the instruction of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So with spiritual advancement, we should try to simplify our eating.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, as you said, we must be a good person to pay tax. But knowing that the government is doing bad, why we still pay tax, Prabhu?
Because you have chosen the government. So don't choose a bad government. But once we have chosen the government, then we have to follow. This is called authority. So we cannot disobey the government, just like nobody can disobey the judge saying that judges are corrupt. No, judge may be corrupt, but there is a system, judiciary in place. Similarly, the king or the government has to be obeyed. If you are dissatisfied with the government, then change the government. But as long as government is there, as long as father is there, as long as authorities are there, they have to be followed.
How to control nightfall as it is natural and not in our control? Kindly guide.
It is not in our control, just like the child passes away stool and urine in the pants. For a small child, it is not possible to control the call of nature. But when the child grows up, it develops strength and it does not do it publicly. Similarly, if we are not trained in following brahmacharya, then nightfall may happen. But once we get trained, then we are able to control. So we'll end up. Grantara Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Subscribe to our channel, and to get the latest updates, do not forget to press the bell icon. Hare Krishna.